Hello, I'm Andrew Thomas Price, and today I'm making myself a cup of tea using the Emberlit titanium camp stove. Hello, I'm Andrew Thomas Price, and today I'd like to talk to you about one of my favourite portable cooking systems. So bear with me and I'll get it all set up. So the whole thing goes into a small package. Now it weighs very, very little. I would guess that's about maybe 500 grams all in for the whole cooking system, and that includes things like lighters that I keep with it as well. So everything goes into this fairly small stuff sack, beginning with a titanium MSR kettle and a titanium Light My Fire spork. I also have this. Now the pouch itself is wax cotton and it's made by Blue Angelical, who you can find on Facebook, and they will make these things to order. So very good material for all sorts of things, very hard wearing. So I asked him to make this specifically for this stove. And here's the stove itself. So opening the pouch. Now I've had this stove for at least 12 years and it gets used an awful lot. So that's everything there. It's all flat pack titanium. So to assemble it, I'll just put everything off to one side here. Now this is the base plate. Now if you notice, it's got 3 protrusions, 1, 2, 3, and there's a flat side. Now the flat side is the entrance, so you want to keep that facing to the front. These are the 4 sides, which look like this. And you notice you have a little hook here facing up and a little hook here facing down. So remember that. That's the internal there, and these hooks go into position just like that. So it's very flimsy while it's all being assembled, but once it's all pieced together, it comes together really well. So I'm going to start putting the base plate into position. The titanium is incredibly light. It barely weighs anything, to be honest, and it is quite heat resistant, but if you get it very, very hot, it will warp. And this one has warped slightly, but it's not too much of a problem. So I'm just going to load this one together now. So this is the front. So this is the third of the sides. And now I take the front piece. I'm sure you'll make this look a lot easier than I will. There we go. So that's the whole set assembled. Just make sure it's all locked together, and that's what it looks like. Okay, so this is the Emberlit gasifier stove or portable firebox, and it's a great bit of kit. And I've used this in a lot of different places on a lot of different trips, and the reason it's so useful is it's very efficient. You use just a few twigs, and even if you can't find twigs, you can use things like dried sheep dung or basically anything combustible in here. So if you are traveling somewhere where you can't buy gas bottles or any kind of liquid fuel, you'll always find something to burn. It could just be gorse or even grass, but whatever you can find, you can burn in here, and it's very, very efficient, and it will bring the water to a boil very quickly. So if you combine this Emberlit stove with something like a MSR titanium kettle, very, very lightweight and easy to carry. And I use this on all sorts of trips, even trips that I go on where I'm not planning to be camping, or I'm not really expecting to have to spend a long time outdoors. I'll take this anyway because it's just so lightweight, and it just means I can make a cup of tea wherever I am, and that makes it worth carrying. So to get it going, very, very simple. Just need a little bit of tinder to begin with. So I'm just going to use some dry grass, but you can use pretty much whatever you can find. So we'll just put some tinder into here. I'm going to use my fire steel and try and get some of those sparks to shoot into there. So good technique. There's 2 different ways I use a fire steel. The first one, if I'm using something like powdered birch bark, for instance, where I need to direct all of those sparks into a very specific point, I put the end of the fire steel down and then I scrape downwards like this. Now, if I'm lighting something like the dry grass in this firebox, I use a different technique where I hold the striker and then I pull back. Which forces those sparks to go forwards. There we go. Now once that's going, it will burn very quickly. I can start to add some small twigs to begin with. Let's get that out of the way. So that's going really well. Now you do have to be a little bit careful where you situate this, because even though it's enclosed, there is always a chance of sparks falling out or embers falling out and starting a fire. So make sure you put it on something non-flammable. It could be stone, it could be sand, basically anything that won't catch fire. So there we go, that's going well. Doesn't create too much smoke because it's a very efficient way of burning. It allows a lot of oxygen in. So all that remains is get my kettle ready. Put that on the top. Voila! A really, really good system. Very, very useful to be able to get your fuel wherever you go. So that's come to a boil in less than 5 minutes, so I think it's time for a coffee. Now while I let this cool down, just like to ask you, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe and share it with your friends. And I'll see you next time.